So without any delay, let's get started. Firstly, hello everyone. So I would like to congratulate each and every person over here, as I'm sure that everyone here are aiming to achieve something big in your life and trying to be the best version of yourself. So that is the reason that you got enrolled in knowing something new. And introducing myself, this is Roshni representing eCell JNT at CH. So, have you ever wondered that is college a right place to have a startup, or have you ever hesitated to explore the possibilities of having a startup with the fear of getting, failed kind of thing? Yes or no? Just a one-word answer. I would love to see your response in the chat section. Great. So somehow it's a silly question because that's the reason that you are today in the session. And we promise before leaving this session, you will have a understanding about whether college is a correct place to start or not. Okay, so this is a promise from our end, and we would also like to take your feedback at the end of the session about how did you like this session and how helpful was it for you in clarifying all your doubts. So, yeah, and by the way, nothing to worry. As you can see, you're not alone in this journey. There are many people who are confused and who are, they get a lot of hesitation to have their own startup. So this session is wholeheartedly dedicated to you to bring out you of that chaotic situation. And the most interesting part of the session is we have a very own alumni of JNT at CH as a speaker of the session, a person who is a true hustler, a person who never and ever left even a single opportunity to learn something new, a person who is usually called as robotics man. Hold on. I don't mean that he's not a human. He is a human, and the name is given because he's good at dealing with the embedded system, and he's also good at contributing towards the field of robotics. So that's the reason most of the people call him that way. And he's also a person who was and is a mentor for many of them. And he is also a mentor for me, it's including me. And the same person is now helping lots of people in executing their ideas into real time projects with his startup, Savishkara. And there are many more in the list. If I keep saying, the whole session will turn out to be the intro session of the speaker. So, without any delay, let me introduce today's speaker of the session, Mr. Aditya Akula, CEO of Savishkara, Ideas and Skills Brought Together. So in the next 30 to 40 minutes, Aditya is going to give you a clear picture about having a startup in college. Meanwhile, during the session, if you have any queries, feel free to drop them in the chat section. We will have a Q&A session once we are done with the presentation of the speaker. So with this note, I would like to hand over the session to Mr. Aditya. So over to you, Guruji.
On a venture or undertaking, especially a commercial one. So that's what it says. I mean, it simply says that you do something that's meant to be commercial. But if you ask me, a startup is something that can help you grow, and at the same time also help the others to do their work at a very less time and at a very less cost. Usually, few things like automation or something, they help people to get the things or work done at a very lesser time. So a startup should be something that can help others to get a particular work done faster and at a lesser cost. That's what I think is a startup. And a startup should grow rapidly. That's one more thing. Not every thing you start can be called as a startup. A particular thing that can grow faster should only be called as a startup. But everything needs to start, right? So let's go. I mean, let's learn why you should and why you shouldn't. Yeah. So before you start a startup or something else, first thing you should question yourself is, who are you? I mean, it's not a song actually here, but who are you? And it portrays a question called, can you do it? Do you have the ability or you don't? So that must also be known to people before you start something. You should know your ability, you should know your talent, you should know your skills. So that's the first question. You should always learn about your skill and behavior and understand that, do you have the ability or skill to do this? And once you feel that you have the ability or skill, keeping aside all the problems, all the external problems, if you keep them aside, from internally, if you think you are ready to do a startup, then you should go for it. That's the first thing ever. If you feel that you are not ready to put up a startup for yourself, not considering the external problems, then you should take some time before you start it. But always make sure that you're strong from within before you do something else. Okay? So now let's discuss first reasons why you won't start a startup. So now it's better to discuss the problems first, solutions next. So let's go. So a typical human thinking. So generally what humans think is, we are at college. So, we won't have much amount of time. I mean, if we don't have much amount of time, how are we going to start a startup? How are we going to look after it? That's the basic thing. Okay, so I made a graph that says about time. So if you could look at the graph, according to time, the time you get at college is far more greater than the time you get after college. And this is a true fact. You ask any working personnel, they'll say you that they won't even have enough time to spend with their family. So how do you think they'll have enough time to start a startup? Most of them, when they try to do a startup, they usually leave their jobs because they won't be having enough time to spend on it. But being a student, you have a lot more time than they can. Most of us, usually prepare during our exams. So when you prepare during your exam, the other time is always free, right? So you can try to do something in that particular, using that particular time. That's one thing. Coming to money, I know, okay, you are a student, so you usually won't be having much of a money thingy. I mean, being a student, you won't be earning, right? So after college, you'll have enough earnings, but not enough time. So do you think that should stop you? I mean, because you don't have any money? If you ask me, no, because in the college days, you have various opportunities to get money for your startups. I'll discuss that point later, how and all. But being frank, money should never stop you from doing anything else. Okay? So just keep that in mind. The main big problem of people of not doing anything that's good at something else. Okay? Effect on studies. When you try to do something, the first thing you will feel is my studies will be affected. Or you might not feel it, your parents might feel it, that your studies will be affected and you might score less. So scoring is always important to them, to anyone else, right? It's not like the parents, I'm not criticizing them. I'm talking about everyone. Everyone thinks that scoring is important. But if you ask me, scoring doesn't matter much. I mean, it matters a little, not much. Just keep that in mind. So once you say that it affects on your studies, I'll tell you, you have to accept the risk. You will get lesser score. If you ask me, when I try to do something in my third year, my second year second semester was like 9.27 grade, and my third year first semester was 7.68. I felt like hell in that particular time when I tried to do something new. So I know I accepted the risk. I thought, okay, I might take some time off. I might not put everything into the studies. I thought, okay, leave for 1 semester or 2 semesters. I can handle this. Until and unless I can put up something new, I can learn something new. I'll try to make up the time for it. So later on, again, my scores got increased. Day by day. I kind of made the entertainment time into the study time, and I used my study time to start up and all. So that helped me. I scored a little greater in the next semesters, though not much as I did in the first, but it helped me to maintain my grades. So it's not, a small change is always okay. So if you think, I used to get 9.5, now I'm just getting 8 or 7.5, it's fine. For 1 or 2 semesters, it's easily fine. So you don't have to worry about being, getting lower marks. Later on, you'll try to, however, increase that. So that shouldn't be a problem if you ask me. So small change is okay. If you're going way down, like, 5 or 4, then you might have to concentrate on your studies a little bit, because if you ask me, every job outside is asks you for around 60% of marks. Not just job, anything. If you want to join in your higher studies also, it will ask you for 60% minimum marks. So you get above 60%, then there's no problem at all. So if you're going below that, please concentrate on your studies there. Okay. So about that, if you have above 60%, don't feel sorry about starting a startup. So yeah, so if you put up all your enjoyment time into startup, you lose your enjoyment, you lose your entertainment. That's what people feel. You won't have time to enjoy for yourself. So yeah, okay, fine. So now what you have to do? I mean, you're losing your entertainment, right? So that's a problem. I'll give you a basic example. I was when I first started doing something new in my third year. I had like a 3 members team in the first time. I had a 3 members team. We were all completely, traveling, teaching, and all. We were doing completely. I mean, we were fully stressed. But that stress actually was an entertainment to us. When you do something that you like, when you do something that you passion, the stress will itself be an entertainment to you. I'm not saying that you should do something that's only concerned to your passion. I'm saying that when you try to do something new, when you try to bring some change, which you think is formidable, then that stress will also get converted into an entertainment. Now I had a 3 members team. We used to, crack jokes while teaching too, because teaching should not always be, a concern about only the stuff what you are going to teach. Also concerned about the way you are behaving in the class. That's also a matter. So we used to crack some jokes. That was an entertainment to us. It wasn't a stress at all. So if you ask me, no, the enjoyment won't be lost. You can go on from meetings. Even in meetings, you can also crack jokes, because most of them, when you start a startup, are your friends or mostly some other people who can, who are okay with some few jokes and all. So that shouldn't matter much. Okay. Yeah. So the final thing, I mean, usually what people do is they fear of failure. I mean, they think that if I start this, if I fail, the question arises: if I fail, what should I be doing? So you got very less scores in your regular exams. You try to because you try to do a startup and that failed. The first question you'll get from everyone: why did you even try to do it? Blah 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 and all stuff. So is it right? I mean, do you think doing a startup and failing has made you go a little lesser down? No, right? Because see, all you have to do is learn from the failures. So if you fail, okay, you failed. Learn from the failure. If you don't try, that's a wrong thing. If you are trying and failing, that's a part. But people who don't try it at all, who are better? I mean, if you ask me, people who take risk, people who don't take risk. These are two categories. So if you try the risk, if you take the risk and you fail, who's going to stop you? Who's going to, I mean, maybe many people will criticize you on that particular point, but to be frank, it's not a wrong thing. You are learning something new. You know that if I try in this particular way, I'll fail. You can even write blogs on it that if you try to do this, you will fail because of this problem. If you learn from the problem, there's nothing wrong. But if you don't learn from the problem, there is the point of issue with you. Redbus. Redbus was a company which actually was started by 2 or 3 people from Telangana itself, probably Nizamabad. Yeah, Nizamabad. So there were 2 people who actually tried to start the Redbus. They created an algorithm called BOSS, which helped in ticketing system easily. But when they took this particular BOSS theorem to the state bus transport, they simply rejected it, stating that it won't work. It's not a thing we can do. They simply rejected it. The problem is, even though they tried it, that didn't work because they didn't think about the management issues in there. So there was a guy in Nizamabad who actually took these 2 people in. He trained them in the terms of management. Later on, they again tried to implement that. This time they tried to do it for themselves, and then thus it started, redbus.in. And now they sold it for like 130 millions or something to iWeebo. And now they have, they didn't have to worry about it at all. So if you ask me, failure is not an end to everything. Failure can be a new start, because you know that if you try it in this way, it will fail. I won't take the Albert Einstein or Edison or someone example, because usually most people do that. I'm not taking them. So I'm giving you a newer example. So always try to fail. It's not a wrong thing. You try to fail. If you fail, you'll know that this is the problem, Then you will understand how you should succeed in your life, right? Okay, why you shouldn't start, the reasons are enough. So now why you should start. Now, when I talk about why you should start, remember that I'll talk in the terms of college, not the general term. So keep that in mind. Coming to mentors, the first people you'll ever find when you try to do something new, there will be some people who will encourage you to do something. People who might have a little experience or who might not have. I mean, who might have seen other people of when they try to do something new. These people can be termed as mentors, to be frank. So if you talk about like the people who come into these mentors thing, they are family, most of the family people, like your parents or your siblings, they might be trying something new. I mean, they might have tried something new. Then you can learn from them what did they do and everything. So the next thing is relatives. Maybe there's a relative whom you know who had tried to do something or who has been doing something. So they can also be your mentors. And then come to the college staff. Anyone in the college staff can be your mentor. Doesn't matter. Mentor is someone who guides you through something. That's the only thing you should keep in mind. Next, coming to friends. So, to me, if you ask me, there are 3 people who are mentors to me. All 3 people are my friends. So even some friends can help you, in these particular problems. Yeah, coming to friends, it doesn't matter. Friends consists the list of seniors, even juniors. To be frank, even juniors can help you. So seniors and juniors, everything comes into the part called friends. So they are your mentors, right? So you can learn from them or you can help them. So 2 ways, right? Yeah, so keep that in mind. Mentors are everywhere. You can, there are people who can guide you for, when you are in some issues or something. Just feel free to ask them. That's important. If you don't ask, nobody is going to save you. అన్నం అంటే ఆకలిస్తుందని అమ్మకి చెప్పకపోతే అమ్మ కూడా తిండి పెట్టదు నీకు. అంటే కొన్నిసార్లు కొందరు అమ్మలు ఉంటారు వచ్చి పెడతారు, బట్ స్టిల్ నువ్వు ఆకలిస్తుందని చెప్తే పెడతారు. సో అలానే నువ్వు అడగకపోతే ఎవరు ఆన్సర్ ఇవ్వరు. కీప్ దట్ ఇన్ మైండ్. So yeah, professors. What do professors have? If you ask me, they have experience and they have contacts. So there are 2 people in a single person. Person who has experience, a person who has contacts. So when you are trying to start something new, if you go and ask him, he might have seen people who might have already tried that particular thing and it might not have worked or it might have worked. So he can help you meet such people, right? So experience is one thing they have. They have contacts. So if you are going to, try to do something like, you're going to start a business on education, consider. So, he might have some contacts to other professors whom you can, bring upon for some seminars or something. So he can also work as a point of contacts to you. So always try to, mingle with your professors. Even though if they aren't friendly to you, try to mingle with them. Because, some of them are such way, I wouldn't point out to anyone or I wouldn't criticize that. Some of them behave that way, but always try to always try to get their help whenever you try to do something new. So that's also important. So yeah, the point is professors are an ocean of data. So now what's the biggest thing in the ocean? Whales. Whales are the biggest thing in the ocean. Always try to be the whale. What does a whale do? Whale tries to, take up a huge amounts of water, use whatever it needs and throw away the remaining water outside. So that's what it does. Always try to grasp the huge amount of data from your professors. Take what they know. Learn from what they have experienced. Keep that all experience into your side. Throw away the waste. And always try to use that for your benefit. So that's important. Become the whales by talking to your professors. Yeah. Alumni associations. Myself, I'm an alumni of JNTH and now, ESL called me and they asked me that if possible, is it possible for me to give a seminar on this particular topic? So using the alumni, most of these alumni people, most of people like me, they come to campus for some talks or meetings like this. So, yeah, thank you, Partha. Sorry, it's about the chat. Just don't worry about it. So coming to the point, so campus talks and meetings, these usually happen with various alumni people. So always try to go to that meetings or for the talks because these alumni people have, they got out from your college, they went outside, they've seen the market, they've seen how things work. They know a lot more than you do. They experienced a lot more than you do. So taking their ideas into your thing will help you that in the future, if you try to do something, you shouldn't do it this way. You should be doing it this way. You learn something from that. So always try to go to the talks or meetings if they are ever conducted, and also try to talk to your own seniors. That should help you a lot because your seniors know about your stream. They know about how to survive in that particular stream outside. So always try to talk to your seniors because they know the struggles you will be facing. They know the opportunities you might grab. So always try to talk to them. They might help you somewhere. So now most of the people don't know how to find their alumni. I know this is a common issue with everyone. You might go to your alumni association in your college, and if you feel that you don't know where that is, ask your fellow students. Or if you think that even alumni association doesn't have enough people, LinkedIn is the best place because everyone has this thing of putting up their education into the LinkedIn whenever they are there. So usually if you find JNTH, if you type in, you'll get all the people who studied in JNTH. So you can happily use that to your advantage. So always find alumni association people from somewhere, learn from them, talk to them. Even if they don't talk to you, you try to talk to them. That might help you, right? Cool. Coming to the financial opportunities, I told you I talked of the money matter later. So if you ask me, I started my startup using the money I got from teaching during my college days. I was like I told you in third year, try to start something new. I went to a particular company. I started teaching robotics, IoT, and all stuff. So whatever money I earned from there, all that money I used to put up my startup. So it's like a kind of small earnings to me. And I also saved some money which my parents gave to me. I mean, usually they give like pocket monies, right? So I even saved that also. Even that also helped me to build this startup today. So that's one thing. I mean, these are taking money from your college days and putting into the startup. So the next thing is usually there are some competitions conducted in various colleges. Usually you might have did something. You might have built a project. So now you want to showcase this project somewhere. Usually IITs and NITs put up a lot of such exhibitions, project exhibitions. Try to go there. Spend some money to go there. Go there and put up your showcase whatever you did. You might win some awards, or you might win some money. You might not also sometimes. So come back. So once you have the award money or something, you can use that to build a startup. And even if you didn't get the award money, and you got all the hell of travel charges and vagera stuff. So what will you do? I mean, you are at a minus point, right? Simple. If you are from JNTH CEH, you have something called TechEquip. Most of the people don't know this, but if you go for a workshop, if you go for a seminars or something outside your college, and if you had any charges to incur like travel charges or something else, you can take those bills, submit at TechEquip, and they'll refund it to you. All you have to do is show the certificates and the cost bills. They'll refund it to you. So you don't have to worry about that. You have something that can refund you. And next, coming to incubators and accelerators. Yeah, now eCell is there. eCell is a kind of incubator, right? So, these incubators and accelerators can help you learn something. First, we'll talk about incubators. So incubators is something where they can help you build your business. So if you have the idea of doing something, just take that idea to the incubators. Remember that you should know your idea like no one else. You should know it at its best. Then only it will work. So you take that idea to the incubator. They might help you with the funding, and you can start it. And if you think that you don't have a particular skill for doing that, go to the accelerators. They'll teach you about a particular skill, and then they'll take your idea and they might help you fund it. So incubators and accelerators are best point if you don't have enough funding to start your startup. But remember, you must always have the clear idea of what you're doing. Coming to mistakes. So you started a startup, it failed. That's a problem. Many people think it that way. So what you should do if there are problems, if you are out of college, consider what will you do? You started a startup, it failed. So what's the next option you have? What will you do in such case? Literally, most of the people will find to do some job, or if they they even try to build a startup in a better way. They'll try to get more funding and vagera stuff. But when you're at college, that's a different aspect, right? So you have first thing, if the startup really failed, learn from the mistakes. What's the mistake you did? Where did you lose? Learn from that. Don't ever lose hope. That's the first thing if you ask me. Losing hope is the first problem people do in the startup. So always try to keep up this hope thing. Don't ever, throw it away. That's one thing. And second thing is, not many people have actually tried to do something new, right? If you are at college, what you can do, you will try to do something new. It didn't work. You can leave that because you already are in a college, you have work to do. Nobody's going to scold you here. Remember, everybody is going to encourage you. But if you do the same thing outside, if you fail outside the college, people will try to discourage you rather than encourage. But if you are at college, you try to do something, it failed, people will encourage you more than discourage because you're a student. You know, they'll think that student hai bhai, kya hota, student hai na, chhod do. They think it this way. But if you are out of college, अरे इसने तो पूरा बर्बाद कर दिया, वो किया वो, they talk it this way. So this thing usually happens. So if you are at college, try to do something as per that. Yeah. Next. So your fellow students, as I've told you already, this is the other aspect. Being in a college, the one of the best thing you can ever have is friends. These friends, it might not be just for entertainment or your own studies kind of stuff. They can also help you in your startup. So now if you ask me, you can visit our website, savishkara.com. The previous one was built by me, but the present one, which is being is still being built, but you have a basic outline. This one is being built by a student in JNTU, in your own college, JNTHCH. There's one student who's actually building that site for us. So they're all dedicated to do something new. So you might find some friends who can do this for you and at a very lesser cost. Because if you try to build a website outside your college, usually people will ask you like 30 to 40,000. I mean, if that has a very high depth of it. But you'll have to pay that much amount. But if you are at college, you don't have to worry about that. You have enough friends who can help you build a website. Thank you, Partha, again. So now coming to market. Whenever you start a business, you have something to sell. So if you have gone through all the ads like Google ads, Microsoft ads, blah, blah, blah stuff, all the ads, what do? They try to bring up some market. They always try to, get some market and, get these things done. I mean, they have to sell to the market, right? So they all try to put up ad stuff. They try to bring some celebrities. They do, some shows, all this kind of stuff. But being at college, the biggest advantage you ever have is you already have a market, a very huge and easily accessible market. Your friends, your colleague, your college staff, everyone, professors, their contacts. It's all a complete natural occurring for you, indigenous. You have a complete indigenous market with you. You don't have to go anywhere to find this market and all this stuff. You already have it with you. I'll give you an example. There was a guy called, I don't remember his name, Andrew. I mean, he's not from local, not from India anyway. So this guy actually started a business called Brains Power, which was about, making some few food items, which will help you gain more amount of knowledge. I mean, it's not like knowledge. It will help you, what you call brain ki manchiga untundi anetappudu okati tayaru chesaadu. He made some food items which can help you, make your brain much more smarter. So he started selling this in his own college. He didn't go elsewhere. He was a college student. He was in his first year. He started doing this. He started selling it in his own college and he made it to Forbes. He made it to Forbes magazine. So he didn't go anywhere else. He just sold it in his own college. So that's a market for him. So you have a huge and complete easily accessible market. Use that. Most people don't use it. They always try to go outside and they try to distribute it. Use your own college, bro. Don't go anywhere. That should help you, right? Yeah. So most of the people are good at something. So for me, if you ask me, I'm good at robotics, IoT, metallurgy stuff. I'm a metallurgical engineer myself. So we are good at some particular stuff. Some people are good at some other stuff. So all these people, they always forget the things they like and they try to do something else. something that's not, in the interest of their own. It's not wrong if you should ask me. It's not wrong. But if you think you could do it, then only try to go for it. So identifying your passions, this has been a problem with many people. It was a long lost job. People weren't even concerned about their passions. Don't take me wrong, but most of their parents force their children to take CSE apart from what they passion to do. Don't take me wrong, but that's happening. That's the present situation in the nation. That should change because people should try to learn what they're passionate in. The same example comes for Sachin Tendulkar, A.R. Rahman. They were all passionate towards cricket and music. So they went there. They learned it. They became the best of that. So always try to follow your passion. That's one thing. Make your passion a startup. For example, if you are good at art, do some art, sell them. That's also a startup. But sometimes even a startup can become your passion. So if you suddenly got an idea of to do something, a problem people are facing, and you have the solution to it, it might not be your passion. You have the solution to it, try to do that. Maybe one day it might turn into your passion. So a passion can be a startup, as well as a startup can also become your passion. So always try to remember that. No bosses around. So yeah, usually the main people, working class people faces, they have someone who is going to pressurize on them. You do this, you do that, you do it at this time. You should complete at this particular time, deadlines and blah 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 stuff. All the other, working class people usually face this problem a lot. But what are you? You're a student. Who's going to boss over you if you try to do something new? Are your professors going to boss over you? No, they can't. Okay, if you are taking funding from some particular company, that particular company guy is going to boss over you. I mean, it's not going to completely boss over you. He'll ask you what's the progress and all this stuff, but he won't force you to get these things done as fast as possible. And he'll help you do it at your own pace. So you don't have any bosses around you. So that should help. And next the point is when you have the control over your life to do something new, if you have, nobody's going to force you. You can do it at your own pace. Then you'll have to take up some responsibilities too. That's what you can't avoid it. If you don't want any boss, you have the responsibility coming with you. So always remember that, be responsible for whatever you start. But if that fails, don't let yourself down. That's the main point you should learn. Huge career builder. Okay. So I don't know if most of the people know this, but risk taking is an unlisted job qualification. If you have the ability to take risk, then you have the more chances of getting a job than the other way around. I'll give you my interview experience. So I was called for this particular company called Miralitics. So went to the final round. There they saw my resume and they saw my scores. I told you, right? I got in 2-2, I got like 9.27. In 3-1, I got like 7.68. They were confused. When the scores were increasing from the first till the second year, why did it fall so suddenly in the third year? So I told them that I started doing something new. They were impressed then and there. Being frank, they were impressed then and there because later on my scores also started increasing from that particular point. So they knew that if I try to do something, I might go a little lesser down in the first place, but I'll make things work in the end stage. So they knew that they can trust me. That's the first thing they knew, that, okay, this guy is an opportunity for us. There were only 2 people who got selected for that company, and I was one of them. So that's one of the qualification I had. So risk-taking is also an unlisted qualification for most of the jobs. So remember that. Try to take risk. Taking risk is not a bad thing. Even if you fail, at least you tried. There are many people who haven't even tried till now. To be frank, 1 out of 100 people tries to take a risk. The 99 people don't even try to do that. So you are one among 100. How many people can say that for themselves? Not much, right? So that's one thing. So you'll also learn the experience of maintaining a company if you take this particular startup and all. So even, I mean, I'm not concentrating on failing, but if you fail, you have this experience with you. You can take that forward to the next level. You can start a new startup. Try to learn from the previous mistakes and try not to do the same mistakes again. So that should help you. Okay. Yeah. So why college, right? Why college? Why college? Campus is a well of resource. Why a well of resource? Why is a campus well of resource? You have libraries, some place where you can learn. You have meeting rooms, somewhere where you can discuss with your fellow students. You have internet connection, so you don't have to worry about the mobile data and stuff. You have inexpensive talent, your friends or your seniors or your juniors who can get things done for you. Where can you get all of these outside the college? Where do you think you'll get all of these for such a lesser cost or sometimes no cost at all? Nobody can say any other place other than college, because that's the only place where you can get this much stuff, this many resources. There's no other place that can give you these many resources for free of cost or for lesser cost. So use them. So don't have to worry about anything else. Use the campus. College is the best place to start something. College is the best place, if you ask me. But it's not the only place. Being frank, college is the best place, but it's not the only place. I'll give you an example for that. If you think if there are any problems you faced that you weren't able to start the startup in your college, and you went out and thinking that I said this way that college is the best place, you won't have any problems. If I go outside, I have hell of a problems, and you don't even start it, that's a wrong thing. Because even outside, you might have a chance to survive. So always remember that college is not the only place, but it's the best place to do a startup. That's the only thing I'll say. It's the best place, but it's not the only place. Okay. So thank you.